Hey, and welcome to another episode of Are You Mad at Me?
Hey!
Hey! I'm Vicky Morgan.
And I am Josh Morgan.
And we're number one. We're number one. Isn't that awesome? That's going to keep that little trophy right there. I don't know if you can see it in the shot because Josh has it covered up by the timer. But anyway, congratulations to us, number one podcast in self-publishing.
Number oneers.
In Canada.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Right
It's
on.
episode 40, if you've been with us from the
This is
beginning.
episode 40.
I know. It's
40.
amazing. Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
40 weeks. Yeah, thanks for everybody that's been
That's
with
almost
us.
2 years.
Math, not your strong point. Yeah, it's episode 40. I don't have anything. I don't have anything on my mind today at all to talk about.
So you're
who
not
knows?
mad at me?
I usually am, though. I'm sure I'll think of
Usually
something by the end of the episode.
We'll get there.
We got some good news. We want to say congratulations to our buddy Cavell Caravan, who has a brand new book. She hit publish. So this is Monday, so we're recording a couple of days in advance, and she just hit publish on her brand new book. It's called Psychic Insight. This is a proof copy, but it's called Psychic Insight.
I feel like we've shown these before. Like when we are working on a book, or when you're working on a book when you're self-publishing, it's a great idea to get a proof copy because you get to look at it before it's completely done and make sure the cover looks the way it should. It feels good. Everything on the inside is lined up the way it should be and all that stuff. But they give you this big black gray mark across the book that says not for sale, not for resale.
So you can't buy this.
So when it's actually completed, which it is, it's hers is done.
It's done.
And in a couple of days, it'll be available on Amazon.
So by the time the podcast comes out, you should be able to find Psychic Insight on Amazon.
You can order one without the bar. Without the gray.
I think everybody is pretty familiar with our podcast and knows about the gray bar.
I don't want people to think that I'm out there designing book covers with a big gray line across that says not for resale.
That's part of the design.
I am a slightly better graphic designer than that.
He's really weird about it. He keeps putting these not for resale signs.
What if I did
weird.
that? What if she ordered a bunch of her books to sell, and they all had that? That's just part of the design. We showed it to you.
So I'm going to take a minute to talk about On New Turf. Michael Boyle, was our client from earlier this year. On New Turf, a memoir, is also available on Amazon. And I love, my favorite part of the whole self-publishing consultant thing is when they publish. You get an autographed.
Oh, get an autograph for real copy.
Get a little inscription on the inside. It's pretty sweet.
And that one, nice. Since it doesn't say not for resale, we can sell that. So if anybody wants to buy this signed copy of On New Turf.
Nope, it's not for sale. And also, we got to redo that now.
Just kidding. Just
for the clip, I got to redo that. And also, Written in Stone, Cannabis Chronicles, An Accidental Journey to Awakening. And that was Tina Madigan. Tina was our client 2 years ago. When did this come out? Do you remember?
Well. Was it 2023?
2023, March 2023. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
2 years ago.
So this is also available on Amazon and in ebook. Mike's is also available in ebook. Cavell's book is just paperback for them
so far.
So
and I didn't do the art on the cover of Tina's book, but I did the graphic design. So setting up the typography and the title.
I don't think anybody is surprised by that. I don't think anyone expects you to do the artwork.
That's a little bit of a thing for me to learn as a new graphic designer. Is like the art isn't necessarily part of my job, but putting it all together into a cover that is a file that can be used and printed and all that stuff.
I think that's a pretty common misconception of what a graphic designer does, because I think I assumed you could do websites. And you can't.
Some graphic designers can.
It wasn't part of what it's not part of it. So tell me what a graphic designer does.
That was one of the things that at the very beginning of the graphic design program, I went in there with this attitude and just assumed it was me. But one of the instructors said, you don't have to be an artist, like you don't have to have an art degree or be a painter or be a perfect sketch artist or anything like that. Like, it's not about... So, like a lot of graphic designers are really, there were some people in my class that were amazing, like drawing everything.
And you're really good.
And I love drawing cartoons, but it's really frustrating when I try to draw something real and it's like, oh, it looks like a cartoon again. Great.
But you're really good at drawing cartoons.
But so that was one of the things that I learned very early in the program was graphic designers, not necessarily an artist. They can be. Yeah. There can be some overlap.
Well, I think that would be a graphic artist.
Yeah.
And so what's kind of funny is that Tina had artwork for her cover, and it needed to be, so the actual cover is like, I don't want to split the spine there, but it's like the front and back and the spine all in one file. which is like that. I did the first one for The Grace of Joe. Stephen Hoke sent me some artwork, and
that was the same situation. Somebody else did the art, but you designed the cover.
So he did the artwork for the cover, and then I put the title and the name and the spine text and the back material and all that stuff. So it's kind of, I recommend that to anybody. Do it all yourself the first time through. So then you have a good idea of how wonderful it is to have somebody else to do it, because it's really hard. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's not easy. I wouldn't call it easy. And I keep saying, oh, it's so easy. And it is doable, and you can learn it at any age. It's just easier if you get somebody else to do it.
And here's a funny thing that I learned with Tina's book, because this was like the first book cover that I did as a graphic designer.
Yeah.
I made the cover.
This was before you did the graphic design program.
So I made the cover as a file, the front cover. Mm-hmm. So I had this part of the book was a JPG file saved on my... So then when I downloaded the template from Amazon, which is the whole thing, the spine, the back, and everything, I put that JPEG on the right side and then designed the rest of it. Yeah. And it was like, well, this is really not convenient, because if I need to change anything on the front, which I did a few times, I had to go find the other file, change that, export it, so when we did Mike's, it was like, okay, so I'm going to do everything in the template. I'm going to have the whole thing and all the pieces individually, or I copied and pasted stuff over, but I had everything. You have
a working file.
I had a working file that I could edit in real time. And then when I did Cavell's recently, it was so much, like, it just keeps getting easier and easier, because it was like everything
I think that's funny. It's getting easier every single time. And it's really fun to see somebody's book come to life, because compared to the manuscript that you start off with, and this goes for everybody, what you end up with is completely...
Yeah, because you might have a manuscript that's a Google Doc or a text file from your phone.
Or something from Apple. What's the Apple one?
The Notes program. Whatever.
Yeah. So it's a lot. A lot goes into it for the formatting and stuff, but it's really fun to watch people's books come to life.
I got to tell you.
And to see their face, I got to say, that's been my biggest thrill so far, is I've been in the room. I've seen their faces when they hit publish, and it is like, it's just a screen. It's just a button on the screen, but they glow.
Or like when Mike got his first physical copy.
There was that
He was so excited.
Yeah. But he was in the living room when he hit publish. Yep. And we were in the room with Tina. We were over at CHMR because we stuck around after we did an interview with Tina and set it all up and put it in the file. So, and Cavell did hers today. It's really exciting. I'm really glad. Fun. Yeah. So
we're open to more book clients, because we like it.
Yeah. It's pretty fun, and it's getting easier and easier all the time. And I know Cavell was very, very happy, and Mike, all three were very thrilled with the art, with the design that you came up with. And it's pretty fun seeing the ISBN number go in, and seeing the like little sleeve and space for the barcode, and getting the proof copies and all that stuff. It's a fun process. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are gearing up for Self Publishing Month.
Self-Publishing Month.
And it is shaping up to be pretty fantastic. So last year...
We got some stuff in the works.
Last year we had the first Self-Publishing Month, and it went really well. We had a lot of workshops, and we had a lot of signings at different bookstores. And then we had our very first open book night. We called it an open book night because it happened in the nighttime. So what happened last year is we invited people... Are we going to,
if we do it like during the day or in the afternoon, are we still going to call it an open book night?
No, it's just open book.
Just an open book?
Like an open mic, but an open book.
I like it.
Yeah, it was your idea. You named it.
But I'm just saying, like this...
Well, we got kind of caught up in the open book night idea, and it was like, no, there was, some afternoon...
open mic night, open book, yeah.
So people coming in from far away, like they'd have to drive back in the dark and stuff like so, for a bunch of different reasons. So the first one we did, we had 10 or 11 authors come. It was published books. You could read from your published book or a work in progress. We didn't restrict it to self-publishing, although that ended up being... was there anybody from a publisher?
I think with the children's book, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, though. I think that might be... Everybody else I think you might be right. Yeah. I think she might have been from a publisher. But we had one lady show up who had written a children's book, and her illustrator came with her, and they got up and read from their book, and it was really great. It was the same illustrator from Tina's book.
Was it?
Yeah, Leanna.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She did the cover. She did the illustrations inside and the cover for Tina's book, and then she did that.
She does like pet portraits too. Yeah. She does like a family portraits where it's like a I don't know what you'd call it, but it's like a drawing of your family from a portrait. It's beautiful. Yeah. So she's really, really talented artist. Of course, the artist on Michael Boyle's book was Jerry Squires. He passed a few years ago, and legendary in Newfoundland. And
the stories in the book.
The stories in the book. He came to Michael's a teacher. He's retired. Jerry Squires came to his class and did a watercolor portrait of Michael Boyle, and it looks exactly like this. And I don't think Jerry Squires ever had any intention of that being a book cover, but here we are. So Self-Publishing Month is coming up in October. We got a bunch of stuff in the works. We're going to do some boot camps where we are teaching paperback, ebook, audiobook, and marketing all in one session.
It's pretty much a 2.5 hour version of the podcast. All condensed into one little workshop.
And so we're going to do those. Drum roll, please. Very, very excited about this. So last year we did it at the Black Sheep. Yeah. And we had 10 or 11 authors, and
it was great.
It was
Don is super nice.
Fantastic. He invited us back anytime we want to come back.
Yeah.
I kind of dreamt a little big for this one, and I had just this idea, and I was like, what's the worst thing? As Alan Doyle would say, actually, I don't know if it was Alan. I think it's a guy in his band. Alan told me that just before every show, one of the guys in his band will say, what's the best thing that could happen?
That's like that Michael Scott thing. What's the best thing that could happen? Alan Doyle, a guy in his band. Like, you know what I mean? Like he quoted somebody else.
Yeah. I credit him with it because he said it to me just before we performed together, which was the best day of my life. So anyway, sorry, weddings and babies were great too. But
that's fine.
It was, I got to sing with Alan Doyle. And that's my favorite manifestation. What?
That's fine.
You're just jealous. No, I'm not sure which one you're jealous of, because you get to sing with me all the time.
That's true. I do like singing with you.
And I don't know that there's a bigger fan out there than me of Alan Doyle. I love him. Wrote a book about him. Pretty much, I've been trying to change. I kind of changed how I'm talking about that second book. My first book was about Joe. I think my second book was about Alan Doyle. I think that's really what I've come to realize is there's it's mostly Alan Doyle stories in there. I even had some that
it's 80-20. I don't think it's mostly Alan Doyle. I think there's
what's 20%?
A good chunk Alan Doyle. Yeah.
And what the 20% is about all the other stuff.
No. I'm saying the 20% is Alan Doyle. Yeah. I don't think it's that much.
I don't know. You let us know if you're listening to the podcast and you haven't listened to.
There was a lot of stories in there.
If you haven't read How to Fail at Documentary Filmmaking yet,
it's available on Amazon.
It's everywhere.
Barnes and Noble.
Yep. Google, Apple,
Kubu,
Kobo,
Nook.
You're being sarcastic. Now this is a serious.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember all the things.
Marketing. Listen, this is why we're not number one in marketing.
We are.
No, we're number one in self-publishing.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Come on, keep up.
Get with the program.
Come on, get it together. We were driving through New Brunswick one time. We just crossed the border, and we were driving just into St. Stephen, and there was this. Guy, was it a guy? It was a woman screaming at her dogs to get. Oh, they were walking.
One time we saw a woman walking with two dogs, and they were pulling in opposite directions, and she goes, "Get it together!"
That's it.
Like
that's the story.
They were going to go, "Oh, sorry, we're not working together. We'll fix that for you."
Oh, geez, and people are watching. This is
sorry,
so embarrassing. Anyway, get it together.
So, self-publishing month. What was your big dream?
The big dream was I wonder if we could have it at the Arts and Culture Center, and. It was like one of those, I had just meditated. It was
for those of you that aren't in Newfoundland, the Arts and Culture Center is like
everybody knows what the Arts and Culture Centers are.
No, I don't think so. I'm not from here, and I don't know what the arts is like. So
okay, we're going to put two surveys in the show notes for this week. It's is my second book all about Alan? Could I call it basically a book about Alan Doyle? I mean, he's on the cover twice, front and back. And then the second one is. Does everybody know about the Arts Culture Center? Anyway, it's only like the biggest provincial arts and culture center.
Provincially funded center where they have concerts and shows and plays and it's huge. It's a big deal.
There's a basement theater that seats I think 100 people. So it's a big mecca of all the stuff that goes on in the province. And when shows come to Newfoundland, they are usually there.
We've seen Alan Doyle there. Corey Tedford's playing there in a couple weeks.
He's in September. He's doing a tour of the Arts and Culture Centers. It's a big deal. So I'm not talking about getting the auditorium with 1,000 seats this year, but. There's this beautiful
only
lobby.
Because we don't have any use for an auditorium. We're using,
we'll get there.
I mean, it's an open book.
Hey, David Sedaris.
That's true, yeah.
1,000 seats.
That's true.
Rooms, and he reads from his books. He reads his essays. That's my dream would be that, and also opening for Alan Doyle, or playing with Alan Doyle, or writing a play.
Maybe it's the same night.
Or writing a musical with Alan Doyle. I don't know, whatever. I'm up for just about anything. But anyway. The Arts and Culture Center, there's this beautiful lobby. There's a big concourse, and they have a lot of art shows. And a few years they've done Penning the Carol has happened there, which is a fundraiser that happens every single year. Aidan Flynn wrote it, and I think it's in 20 years, 25 years. How long has he been doing it? We went to the anniversary.
It's been at least 20 years because we've been together for 19, and
that's right. Yeah,
he did it for our wedding.
It's 25. Maybe it's that makes sense. So maybe it's 25. So he had it there a couple of years, and it's a big fundraiser for the Food Sharing Association. It's a beautiful. It happens around like just Christmas week, and it's a tradition. It's beautiful. But there was a space in the Arts and Culture Center, and he said, if you ever want to do an event, and I was like, come on, what would I ever do as an event? This was long before I started playing music. I was friends with Aidan, of course, before I met you, and I wouldn't have considered myself an artist back then. I was a hangers-on. I was a stage manager. I did lights and sound and assistant stage managing and stuff, that sort of stuff. But I wasn't really creating. I wasn't performing. Anyway, here we are all these years later. So I fired off an email to Aidan, and it was one of those like, this is not going anywhere. But I know that there would be people who would look at that and go, well, you did ask. Like, yeah, but I didn't. Anyway, had a meeting with Aidan, did a tour of the building, and we're looking at some really fun stuff for this year.
So Self-Publishing Month is going to be several events that we have scheduled so far, and we probably have more that we'll figure out between now and then. But we have several things happening at the Arts and Culture Center that we're pretty excited about. So
Open Book is going to be at the Arts and Culture Center.
We're already working on promotional materials and just setting up all the infrastructure for that to happen in October.
And I would imagine, so this year we're starting 6 weeks out, and next year we'll start probably even earlier. And then I'm kind of wondering, like, as I was walking around the Arts and Culture Center a couple of days ago, like, I just had this little flash of, oh my God, next year we're doing a tour of the province. We're going to go to all the Arts and Culture Centers, and we're going to do open book nights, open book events at all of the centers in the month of October. And it was like, oh my God, this is, and then it's like, yeah, beyond that.
How many are in Newfoundland?
There's 5. There's Labrador, Grand Falls, Corner Brook, St. John's, and Gander, I think.
Okay.
I think there's 5 altogether. And so, like, yeah, but it was funny to see it happen. It was like, it started off with these humble beginnings. Our friend Don Meyer hosted the first one for us at the Black Sheep downtown, which I highly recommend. Lots of good music there.
Yeah.
And we did a comedy night down there, and we've done shows down there with Jared Waterman. It's a really great little spot. So it was kind of funny to see this idea become like, oh, we're doing a little bit bigger next year, and then next year, like the year after this year, and then next year we'll look at doing it. We'll plan even further in advance and probably do a tour of all the Arts and Culture Centers.
It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, it's really, really nice when something when you find support in the community and people with some power who actually lend a hand and say, I believe in this too, and this is a great idea, and how can I champion this to, people who are also in power who can help you. And it's really nice. And it does, of course, there is some value in what we're doing.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that kind of gets lost sometimes in my insecurity, and I get in my head. But at the end of the day,
it's a community event where, like, the self-publishing community is like, people are coming out and it's like, oh, we don't even know these people, or they're people that we knew that we didn't know were writers, and it's like either they've already self-published and it's like, oh, that's amazing, or they want to self-publish and it's like, we can help you with that, or we can point you in the right direction, or it's a community of writers. It's a DIY community. Like, it's a DIY community of writers, and
it's it's creative. It's creative arts, because it's and I'm reminded of this week of a lot of the stuff I did years ago when I was doing other shows for public access. It was mental health focused. It was well-being and doing things to, feel better and move on from, not move on, but to live with your trauma and integrate it, in a positive way and survive, like, and keep on going and find joy again. And it was like, ugh, nobody wants to hear about mental health stuff. And it was a hard sell, but I feel like.
But you sold it.
Yeah. And the show we did, it was called Ounce of Prevention, and it was in, like, I think 17 different states.
Yep. And it was on Rogers here.
Yep. It was on Rogers and was in a bunch of places. So, but it was a hard sell. It wasn't on every station, because it was like, it's mental health. It's a bit icky. People are talking about, mental health crises and breakdowns and suicide attempts and all that stuff. And it was like, it was a hard sell. It was hard to convince people. And, like, I know the local station here, like the big branded station here, it's only an independent one, but it's, they had big money.
Yep.
They had a friend of ours who died by suicide. He was working there. He didn't show up for work one day, and we were all at his funeral, and they still didn't put my show on there. It was a little bit of like, this is Newfoundland. It's like kind of doesn't quite work the way it should and stuff like that. So, but anyway, again, like I said, hard sell.
I think it's just a matter of finding your people and finding the right community, and that's what you're doing.
So all these years later, what I have found to work for me has been very beneficial. I mean, I'm on a few support groups on Facebook for families with trisomy 13, of course, and it's a hard go. Like it's those first 5 years, if I wasn't writing in my journal, and I had a blog before that too, but if I hadn't written, like if I didn't have a safe space or sit down and write my thoughts out, I mean, sometimes like just you can scare yourself with your own thoughts, like. And then you find out that you go to support groups and you talk to other people and you read other people's stories and you find out these are totally normal feelings. You're not alone. It really does help, you know. And then there's other stuff like maybe you're a beekeeper. And
Nancy's the third host of the show, isn't she?
She really is. She's amazing. But like, if that's the thing that you're passionate about, like I don't need to dive into somebody's personal life to figure out that this thing that you make flowers or you make jam or you make baked goods or you whatever, make creative things and knit things for people. There's obviously mental health benefits to that. You found something that gives you joy, and you're like Alan Doyle at a concert. It gives him joy to make people happy, and then everybody wins because he's happy because we're having a good time and he's happier, and it all feeds off itself. So it's packaged differently, but nothing has really changed for me. It's still exactly the same. This is what worked for me, and I'd like to share it with other people, and I hope you feel better too. And it's all kind of it's packaged better. The marketing has improved for me because it's not a mental health thing. It's a creative thing, which, you know, which is a mental health thing. Yeah. We all know that it's like the tentacles reach back or reach forward or whatever, and it helps. And it's a beautiful thing to see people's books come to life. And you don't need to sell 1 billion copies. You don't need to get rich off of it. But it's pretty nice to connect with people who have read your books. Anyway. Yep.
Just like this podcast, it's a way to get stuff out of your head. And
I feel like I'm talking to our friends. I like it. It really, I do. I mean, obviously we're sitting here and we're talking to each other, but I feel like we're broadcasting encouragement, and you know, we're getting lots of feedback and lots of views and lots of clicks and likes and comments and all that stuff. And the subscribers, I think we're almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube, which you know, it happens. I read something the other day and it said the first 100 is really hard, the second 100 a little bit better, and then all of a sudden it's 1,000, and you know, it grows. And
we're getting more followers on Spotify too.
These dreams of going across the country in an RV, I mean, they're happening. It's like, I mean, we applied for our passports, so we can travel when the opportunities arise, and they will. But it's like, and I didn't see that a couple of weeks ago. If you had said, "Oh, you're going to do book nights across a tour with the book nights or book events," like, I don't see that happening. But here we are. Like, it makes sense. Like, the next logical step would be next year we're going to take it across the province, and then the year after that we'll go. Probably across the country, and then there's the United States, and hopefully by then there'll be we're judging for like the 3rd, 4th year of this term. Yeah, right. By then, you know, hopefully things will be better. I'm not afraid to go to the US at all. I got a lot of friends in the United States and a lot of great people, and I'm not worried about it. I mean, I'm not there, so I don't know how bad day to day is. Like, are restaurants different now? Like, are people still nice when you go into a restaurant or when you go into a craft store, or I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. We don't need to worry about that for a couple of years because it looks like a couple of years from now is the earliest we'd be able to go to the U.S. But, I mean, maybe sooner. I'd go to Tennessee tomorrow.
I know, right?
When our passport comes in. The day after I get my passport, I'm ready to go to Tennessee. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. There's that. And what else?
Open book.
So we're going to do
self-published month.
Yeah, we're going to do.
October.
Okay, so if you are listening to the podcast anywhere in the world and you're wondering what an open book event is, you can do one. We don't need to be there. An open book event is you have a book that you want. So the idea too is that it's okay to promote your own books. It's okay. It's okay for that to be your motivation. I kind of don't like people that organize things that aren't involved, honestly. Like, I talked to somebody earlier today, and we were talking about farmers markets and the folks who organize events, but they don't have a table. So they charge people for space.
So you're just a landlord.
They charge for the marketing, and they don't make anything. And it's like, that's kind of a... Like, your grandparents did a farmer's market for years in Mulberry Creek. Yep. And nice shirt, by the way. Yeah. But it was like they were all part of this co-op. And so they all shared in the expenses, and they all shared in the... Like, if there was a bad year, they didn't have a lot of sales, and they made up for probably doing other things or whatever. But it was like everybody was invested in it, like a co-op. But I think when there's someone just making money off the table rentals, that feels a bit icky to me.
Yeah. Well, this
so if you have a book that anyway, the point of that is if you have a book that you've self-published and you want to do an open book event, please let us know about it. We'd love to know that you're doing these, and please invite us because you never know. You never know we'd be able to show up.
And these events that we have planned so far for October are all. We're not charging anybody for anything.
I know. That's my favorite part.
There might be a commission if people end up selling books just because it's a commercial space. But other than that, they're letting us have the space because it's a community event. It's free. There's free tickets. So the workshops we're gonna
same thing.
Same thing. You got to sign up for it, but
So if you want to plan an open book night, it's hopefully you're a writer and you've published a book and you get to read yours. You can host. I would suggest that you host. I get bios from all the authors in advance, and so I introduce them and I give them a nice introduction. Everybody claps for them. They get 5 to 7 minutes to read from their book, whether that's a chapter or 2 chapters. Give them a minute to introduce it as well. And then so everybody's up there for between 5 and 10 minutes. And they also, we give the opportunity for people to bring copies of their books to sell. So that's part of it. And I would also suggest if you're thinking about having an open book event, consider having it in a location that is dry. Because let's be, if we're mindful of the fact that, I know we had our first one in a bar. It was a Sunday evening, and I don't think we had any coffee available, which I'd prefer. But again, I don't feel like setting that rule in place that it has to be. But be mindful of it, and maybe
it's just something to think about because there's
something to consider.
It's just one of those accessibility things that just
some people might find it very difficult to be in a bar.
Yeah.
And we're talking about creative people. So how many creative people do you know with alcohol issues? And I'm gonna, what? It's funny when you have a bad experience or negative experience, and you learn from it. It actually, you carry it. I was at the Women's Film Festival here in St. John's a few years back, and I was a volunteer, and all these people were coming in getting these gift bags. If they were flying people in from around the country to show their films, different producers and directors and stuff, all women. And the gift bags were sponsored by the Liquor Corporation. So the gift bags were a keychain, maybe a T-shirt or something, and there was these little liquor bottles, and little
airplane bottles.
4 or 5 airplane bottles of hard alcohol.
Yeah.
And so, me being a shit disturber like I am, when the executive director came in, who was also the head of MUN, Memorial University at the time, unrelated, but that was her position. She came in and I said, Ms. Whoever, have you guys considered that maybe we should be sending alcohol back to the rooms with these artists who are traveling to a foreign city
by themselves,
are here by themselves, and we don't fly in their family or a partner. We just fly in one person and they're in hotel rooms by themselves. Do you think maybe it might be an idea to not send them back to their rooms with, 4 or 5, enough for alcohol poisoning?
Get a good buzz
and
on.
her response was, no, it's enough. 5 of those bottles, I'd be in the hospital.
Yep.
And her response was, well, nobody has identified themselves as having alcohol problems. So I'm sorry. When you submit your film, you're supposed to identify yourself as an alcoholic so that they don't give you alcohol. That's what it would require. Anyway, she got fired from MUN about 3 months after that, and she is no longer the head of the Women's Film Festival. But I just remembered, it just seemed like and maybe I was there kind of with a little bit of a critical lens because I didn't have any of my own films in there, and maybe I was kind of being not very nice.
It's a fact, though. It was
something that I try to keep in mind because, there's lots of people in recovery, and why make it harder? So what I try to do when I can is if we are having something in a bar that have an alternate date or an alternate opportunity, so that at least the people aren't missing out if you're trying to do these events, and who knows what people are going through. So it's just a little opportunity to be nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, this event so the bar we had it in last year, it was serving alcohol. It was not wheelchair accessible. We actually had a person with disabilities who had a lot of mobility things and had a very difficult time getting into the bar.
One of the readers, one of the authors.
One of the readers, he had a very difficult time. And so we want to avoid that whenever possible. Sparky, you're being kind of needy tonight.
There was also, so the workshops that we're doing are going to be at least weekly.
Yes.
We're going to do some weekly workshops.
Yeah, it'll be an overview of everything basically in the books.
Yeah.
So we'll cover paperbacks, eBooks, audiobooks. We haven't written a book yet about audiobooks or podcasting. So I'm once I get all the stuff in place for Self Publishing Month, I don't know if I'm going to have time to write another book.
between now and then.
Yeah, and it'd be a mini book.
That'd be tricky.
It would be a bare bones guide for audiobooks, but it is a whole other market. And I've actually, since we started publishing on Barnes & Noble, they send out all these newsletters to help with marketing and stuff. And one of the things that I was reading on there was that audiobooks are like booming. Their market share has surpassed eBooks. This is how people are consuming a lot of books. And so to answer the question that is on everybody's mind, you're not, if you are writing a book and you're thinking about doing an audiobook or an ebook, and you're concerned that the books, that someone buying an ebook will take away a sale of your paperback, as a marketing consultant with a lot of background, like when we did a lot of hockey stuff, there was concerns that people wouldn't come to a hockey game if they could see it on TV at home. And it's just, I don't believe that's the case. And I think there's a lot of empirical research behind it that someone who's going to buy an ebook probably wasn't going to buy your paperback.
It's just a different audience. Like some people
consume in different ways.
Consume it differently.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're not, and then there's people like me who will buy Nate Bargatze's paperback, because I wanted the paperback and I wanted the audiobook, which actually has a whole bunch of extra stuff because he makes little jokes and stuff, and it's like Nate Bargatze reading to you. It's pretty fantastic. And I could read it in his voice, but his delivery and the cadence and how he talks is just, that's my favorite thing, because he's just so calming and so funny.
So we have audiobooks,
so
ebooks,
we'll cover all that.
So we'll cover marketing and ISBNs and the tax interview and royalties and all that stuff.
Yep.
So it'll be a little survey.
So years ago, when I first moved back to Newfoundland, I was lucky enough to go to a class. It was during the Nickel Film Festival, has a festival every single year. I didn't see anything this summer, but they do a thing called film school in a day, and so they have back-to-back workshops for 4 or 5 hours where you have hour-long sessions. I think they were like $10 a class, and it was on all the different components. Essentially, the idea was that if you took all those classes, you could go make your own first film after hearing all the information from all these experts in the industry. And so that's kind of where the boot camp idea came from, is we're going to cover everything. Sparky, I'm super uncomfortable trying to sit here with you. Sorry, buddy.
He's so cute.
But he's just he's just sprawled out, moaning, making noises in the microphone.
You know what happens? It's just like your computer. You just reset. Watch.
Reset.
You just reset him. So you put him down on the floor, and then he'll get back up here, and then he'll sort himself out.
We got to plug him back in. We'll unplug him, plug him back in.
Just turn it off and turn it back on.
Come on. Oh, way better.
I was reading something the other day that there's a difference between restarting your computer and turning the power off, because a lot of new Windows computers, especially, if you turn it off, like if you go to power and turn off, it doesn't actually turn it all the way off. It just kind of puts it to sleep. So a lot of stuff is still running in the background. But if you reset it, that's when you get all your updates and all that stuff, and it actually, I don't know.
Actually what? Is it better to turn it off?
It's better to reset it. If you would think that if you turn the power off with a lot of new Windows computers, it doesn't actually turn it all the way off. It just kind of puts it into a deep sleep, and a lot of stuff is still running, so it doesn't actually reset everything. So you're
not getting updates for your online programs and stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you restart it, it actually resets everything. So anyway, just a little computer tidbit that I learned on Reddit.
Nice. We've been on Reddit a lot, and I've been getting a whole lot of suggestions to do Reddit ads, and I've heard, I don't know about you, but I've heard that Reddit ads very ineffective.
Oh yeah.
Because you get some real information from there, right? Like that's where you go for advice.
And I do see ads.
Yeah, and you actually but do you ever trust them or click on them?
Never.
Exactly.
I skip right over because I'm on Reddit to
get real information.
Have a conversation, get some information, talk to people about whatever I'm on there, editing or graphic design or whatever. And if I see the word sponsored, I just keep scrolling. Exactly. But it's like every 4th or 5th post on the feed is a sponsored ad.
My phrase is, it's like you fart in an elevator. Everybody knows you did it. Nobody likes it.
Exactly.
So
it's the same thing with comments too. Like in a thread itself, there'll be the post, and then there'll be all the comments, and every 5, somewhere in there'll be a sponsored one. It looks just like a regular
sponsored
comment.
Comments?
It's not comments. It's an ad, but it's formatted like a comment. So if you're not paying attention, if you're just reading comment, you'll read and it'll be like, why is this thing talking about the MasterCard? And it's like, oh, this is a...
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's sneaky.
It's very sneaky.
That's a turnoff.
But I do like Reddit because there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah. And we're looking at all those... I'm getting a kick out of it because Facebook is sometimes a bit of a cesspool. And it's funny to see people, there was a couple... just over the past week or so, there's been people posting stuff like... here's how much money I made on my blah, blah, blah this week. And it's so funny to see people get called out. Like, no, you didn't.
Here's how I made 6 figures as a self-published author in 1 year. Like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. And it's, yeah.
Are you counting the decimal after the decimal point?
But I did find out something this week that I found very interesting.
What's that?
How did it happen? That's a good question. Nobody's asking that question. I'm asking that. I don't remember how it came across my desk, but it was, you can request books at your local library.
Oh, yeah. You can request, if they don't have it, you can request that they buy it. You can request
that you can do a purchase request at your local library. And I was like, oh, that's a real cool thing, because we have some librarian friends. My friend Vicky is a retired librarian.
Not you, a different Vicky.
Different Vicky. But she's awesome also. We all are. Vickies are just awesome. But anyway, she said that there's a requisition that you can fill out. And I was like, oh, that's really special that Newfoundland does that. And so I did a little Google search, and it turns out every public library, every state, every province, every library has a requisition form. You have to have a library card for. So I'm gonna say this as plain as I can.
Okay.
So let's imagine you live in
Montana,
Nashville, Tennessee. Okay.
Sorry, I won't add.
I'm talking to you.
Listen.
I'm talking to you, Nate Bargatze. Or wherever. Whoever else is down there, like Blaine. Let's talk to Blaine.
Sure.
Okay. So Blaine, very educated, very smart, has a kid, probably has a library card. Blaine could go to, while he's doing research for his genealogy, remember Blaine's Family Research, I highly recommend. When he's at the library.
Go down to CPL, Clarksville Public Library.
Yes. Is that what it's called? It
probably.
Is.
I don't know.
Okay. So they probably have library cards. What you can do now, so I don't know if this applies to folks who have books on Amazon, because my understanding is that libraries do not buy from Amazon. I don't know why. I might be wrong about that. And
they have their own. They have their own.
It's just I don't know.
Portal.
I don't know what the rule is. I don't know what the standards are. But anyway, I think there's places like Overdrive, and I think Publishing Journal is another place that another librarian told me that they order from. But anyway, if someone were to go into the Clarksville, Tennessee library and fill out, you could do it online. You need a library card from Clarksville. You go in to their website and you fill out the form that says purchase requisition, and you put in your library card number, your name, and the name of the book you want, and the ISBN.
Do you need the ISBN usually?
Yes. Yeah. It has to be an actual published book. It can't be like a pamphlet that somebody put out, or Yeah. You need an ISBN. So other than that,
it's important to find out maybe how to get an ISBN, because I don't think everybody would know how to get an ISBN for a book they want.
That's a really good point. Maybe I'll provide.
I'm a little surprised that they would require an ISBN.
You can look that up online.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's an international standard book number.
I remember doing it for like college textbooks and stuff when we were searching for used books when we were in school, but. And you can get them on. They're usually on Amazon.
The forms that I saw, it's an ISBN is required. Name of the book, name of the author, and you can request a book. It's not a guarantee that they'll buy it, but
it's a request. Yeah.
Generally speaking, much like public access stations, if somebody has requested a certain book or a certain program to be aired on public access, or what, and just distracting away from this. If you want your friend's book to be in a library,
your local library, you have to have your own local library card, and you can request that they buy a certain book to be carried. So that's what I discovered this. Yeah, that's really great.
Week.
So you had a great idea. You went on Facebook on some writer pages and suggested, like, hey, there's people here from all over the world, different countries, different states, different provinces. Let's get together. I'll request your book. You request my book where you live. And that was a really smart idea, because it puts your book out there. That person gets some
more trade and support.
Advertising.
Yeah, huge mistake.
Well, you met up with a couple assholes on Facebook, but I think that was still a great idea.
Language. We got family listening on this.
Do we?
You
met up with a couple of not nice people, but there were other people that agreed with me.
There were a few people
That's a good idea.
Thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And
that's all you need to focus on.
There was a handful of people that really
people know that there's people
needed
on
more
Facebook.
Explanation. And then there was a couple of people that one older gentleman, old white dude, said, I don't like it. This is a bad idea. And I was like, I don't know why. I kind of forgot myself for a minute. I posted, like, I just found out you can do this thing. Any thoughts? Is there any way we can trade support here? I'm in Newfoundland. And this one guy just went, I don't like it. And instead of just going, okay, I stopped.
I feel like his first comment was something about, why should I be giving my books away for free?
But it started off with, I don't like it. And then, why should I give my books away for free?
Yeah.
So I clicked on his page because that's what we do, right? If someone's giving you a hard time, you're going to click on their profile and find out more about them so you can fire back with some real ammunition. And I don't know, I mean, I'm going to blame it on the hearing from earlier this week that I was maybe a little overly sensitive, but I don't know why I responded to him. He could have kept scrolling, but I could have kept scrolling. So anyway, I went on his page and we get into this whole thing because he wrote a book. He said, I don't like it, in caps. And then he said, why should I sell my book? That's only one sale for me. And why should I give my book away for free? And I was like, valid point. So I click on his profile. Turns out his book is about Gideon Bibles.
Which there is one for free in every hotel room in the United States.
So I am kind of a jerk sometimes. And I wrote back and I said, I don't understand your comment. You wrote about Gideon Bibles. So he took offense and thought I was going after his religion. And he called himself a Gideon. I didn't know that was even a thing. But apparently that they buy Bibles and they provide the Bibles that you find in hotel rooms. I'm learning this stuff. So I said back to him, he was like, you're attacking me because I'm a Gideon. Like, I have no idea what that even means. But like, what's the harm in putting your book in a library? And this is, again, goes back to people believing that they're losing sales. But this is my theory on this, and I might be wrong. But if someone is going to a library to borrow a book, they probably weren't going to buy your book.
Yeah, that's like if it's a difference between going to Amazon and spending $20 or somebody that doesn't have $20 and has a library card that's free. Yeah. Like, why shouldn't they have a chance to read your book?
Libraries are very, very important, and maybe you're in it for money. I can't imagine you're going to self-publish if you're in it for money.
Well, that $20 is probably not going to get you very far.
Well, I mean, you end up with $6, right? Yeah. So someone goes into the library and checks out For the Grace of Joe. They're going through a pregnancy, they've got a baby with trisomy 13, or someone in their family has that diagnosis. And it's like, so they go and learn about it, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to go to the family that is going through this experience and say, look, I just read this amazing book. I mean, it's so well written. And you're going to learn all about these things. And this woman talks about her mental health and how she almost got divorced and she fell apart and she took years to write it, whatever. That person is going to talk about the book they read if they enjoyed it. And so if you believe in sharing your story and that you don't lose it, a candle doesn't lose any of its flame because it lights another candle. Like, if that's, I don't know why you wouldn't want people to read your book. I understand, but that's $6. Yeah. And so the other thing is that libraries generally pay 2 or 3 times the cover price because so many people read it. So after I got myself out of the fight with the Gideon Bible gentleman, some other guy came on and said, this sounds like fraud and greed and it's unethical. And I was like, what? Okay, I didn't set the price. This is how, okay, you know what? I just deleted the thread. So all the folks that had commented on there, they wanted to trade support and all that stuff, like,
poof.
Because it wasn't worth it to me to fight. Like, I had an idea. I thought it might help. I wanted to share it. And I went and shared it in a room with strangers, and it serves me right. That's what you get. Like, you go in, you're vulnerable, you're trying to do something, and like, oh, poor Vicky was doing a good thing, and people were mean. Like, yeah, it's the internet. So instead of engaging, I was enraged. I was furious, and I wanted to say something back mean, and I was like, you know what? This is not worth my time.
It's not worth it.
This is not my market. This is not my room. This is not where I'm going to thrive. Like, I will put this into the material that we do for Self-Publishing Month, and people that are actually wanting to be there, who value my opinion, are going to listen. Yeah. They're going to be engaged. Yeah. They're going to actually, benefit from it. And so maybe I don't owe the internet every idea that I have. Maybe I don't need everybody to like me. But it was kind of frustrating because it was like, oh, really, another angry old white dude coming after me and saying I'm being unethical for trying to put my books in a library and offering to put yours in a library. Yeah, I'm a monster.
Yeah, you're terrible person. But
I've learned about the internet because I feel like this is a part of, you cast a wide net, you're going to get some sculpins. Yeah. And so you need a little bit of a thicker skin. But if that is going to prevent me from sharing my book with, potentially hundreds of thousands of people on all these other platforms, so these things are going to happen. Am I going to let it stop me from doing what I'm doing? And that's really the question I can think that everybody's facing is like, if I put myself out there, this thing might happen. Like, yeah, and it might, and it probably will, and you can handle it.
Yep.
That's at the end of the
100%.
day, of course you can handle it. Is it going to make you a little bit angry? Yeah, but you can handle a little bit of anger. We're not fragile. We're not like, we don't need to be in this bubble wrap, that we're never angry. We're never hurt by anything. Like, it's okay, because that makes the good stuff that much sweeter.
That's right.
And if I didn't have that experience with the lady at the Women's Film Festival, I wouldn't even consider, I mean, maybe I would eventually come around to it. I'm kind of a nice person most of the time.
You're a good person. Final thoughts. Let's wrap it up.
Funny, my microphone is not comfortable for me tonight, so we're getting final thoughts, and my mic haven't even gotten settled here yet. I'm very antsy. Can you tell? Anyway, final thoughts.
October is Self-Publishing Month.
Yes, and I came across a video that I posted last September, and it had everything in it that I wanted, except it had all the dates and stuff in it. So, can I do another one?
You want to do one right now?
Yeah.
Your final thought is going to be turned into an ad?
Well, I think, yeah. It makes it easier on the 812-pound gorilla team that's here. We add an extra pound every week.
That's right.
Anyway, episode 40 of Are You Mad at Me? Thanks for sticking with us the whole time. And now I'm going to do... Okay. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. So Self-Publishing Month is right around the corner. We're getting all geared up here at Are You Mad at Me? And which, of course, is brought to you by Self-Publishing NL. Self-Publishing NL, is that what we're called? I don't know. Anyway, you'll find us on Facebook. So Self-Publishing Month is right around the corner. That's in October. And you use the hashtag Self-Publishing Month. Make sure you're using that. And it's an opportunity to promote your self-published books. And so we are going to be organizing some events like open book events where authors can come read from their books that they've published or from works in progress. And you can also sell some of your books and meet some of your brand new fans. And it's going to be amazing. We will also be doing some boot camps where we're going to cover how to do paperback, ebook, audiobook, and marketing for all of your books. And we're going to answer all your questions, like how to get an ISBN and what's this tax information that they're asking for and why do I have to put my banking information in. We're going to cover all those things, and you're going to walk out of those boot camps ready to publish your book. And of course, we're here to help if you need any help along the way. But that's what Self-Publishing Month is all about. It's a chance to actually celebrate, yes, it counts. Yes, it's a real book. Yes, you're a real writer. Yes, you're a real author. You can be in bookstores. You can do signings. You can buy author copies and sell them in person. You can be on a whole bunch of platforms. I started off on KDP, but I've branched out this past year to Draft to Digital and Indigo and Kobo and Barnes & Noble and Books A Million and Apple and Google. I mean, my books are
all over the place,
everywhere. And that's all possible when you self-publish. And this is all stuff that, I understand you're waiting, you're hoping that you're going to write this beautiful manuscript and you're going to send it off to a publisher, and you're only going to send it to one publisher, and they're going to write you a letter, and it's going to have gold embossed edges, and it's going to say, this is the best book we've ever read, we want to publish it.
Confetti's going to come out of the envelope.
It is. It's going to be a glitter explosion, and they're going to say, we're going to send you on a world tour, here's $100,000 advance. It's going to be great, and it's going to movie rights, and you're going to be on the red carpet next to Brad Pitt and whoever. Pedro Pascal, which, I mean, that sounds like a pretty good day. And that's a great way to go. But if you're, if you want to have control over your book, you want to have control over when it comes out, and you want to be in control of your own marketing and success, self-publishing is an absolutely viable option for people. And it is accessible. You can do it. Some of the stuff is a little tricky, and that's why we're here. There's lots of manuals you can buy. We got a bare bones guide to self-publishing that we published just this past year.
Yep.
And what else? And of course, we also got How to Be a Famous Sexy Writer, and that has everything I knew up to that point. That's all in one place. So if you want to get Famous Sexy Writer, that's a pretty fun little read, and that's got everything that I know on there, and it's got a picture of me with a little Newfoundland necklace.
So Newfoundland, October Self-Publishing Month.
Yes.
And
so
join us.
Yeah, keep an eye out for local events, and by all means, join in. Post your books. Come to Self-Published NL on the Facebook page. Let us know about your books that you've got signing events going on. Let us know how you're celebrating Self-Publishing Month wherever you are, and keep writing. The absolute best piece of advice I can give you for all these things is keep on writing. It's not just one book. There's probably more books in you. So keep writing, and you'll be amazed at the success that those stuff that you've already published has. Or if you're just working on your first one, if you are a poet and you want to come out and read some poetry to us, or if you're working on a cookbook, or
That'd be interesting. Somebody came out and read a recipe. Yeah.
But like when you look at a recipe online, it's like, oh, this is a long ad.
When I was growing up, and
yeah, it's like 4 pages of narrative, and then you finally get to the 4 cups of sugar and whatever. I mean, that'd be delicious, whatever you put in 4 cups of sugar in. But it's an opportunity to come out to Open Book, and if you're interested in reading at our Open Book event, get in touch, and we'd be happy to have you. And you can sell some of your book, whatever. And you'll learn all about self-publishing, and you'll meet all the other self-published writers, and you'll find out, and you'll also probably meet some people who've gone with traditional publishers. And I'll let them speak for themselves. I haven't heard anybody yet say it went exactly like they wanted. It's usually like there's a lot of things that kind of, the creative journey kind of falls through the cracks when you... And if you can get a traditional publisher, hats off to you. I have never even tried.
Are we still doing an ad?
Nope. Yes, I don't know. I lost track of it a long time ago. My whole thing has been, traditional publishers are mean, but honestly, I've never even tried. I have never sent a query letter to a publisher. I don't know. Once the book is written, I have no idea what to put in a letter to make somebody think I could make a bunch of money off this book. But like when the idea came along to, I can just publish it myself. Like, that's
Done.
what I want. Anyway, it's funny how things kind of change as you adjust.
And then you have a book. So we'll see you in October.
No, we'll see you next week because we're going to be back on Are You Mad at Me?
That's just part of the ad.
Are we still doing an ad?
I'm just cut it in. Nobody know the difference.
Join us for Self-Publishing Month coming up in October. It's going to be really great. And if you're participating, please use the hashtag Self-Publishing Month and be proud of your books. You're a real writer. Yes, it counts. Yes, it's real. You can be in bookstores. You could make 6 figures as long as you don't count the decimals. Like if you just as long as you count the decimal points, you're going to make 6 figures. But it really is a really fun thing, and I encourage everybody to write and you know, get in touch with us. It's a really fun time. I like it. And I'm really excited that we're getting this going, and we're getting so much support here locally, and we're going to be on the road. I think next year we're going to take it on the road.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do open book events on the road. So we're looking forward to that. So I'm trying to remember what else was in that video from last year because I just talked off the cuff for like 5 minutes. That's a real treat for people.
We can always make another one if you think of more stuff you want to say.
That's a good idea. We could do another ad.
And this is anyway, this is episode 40 of...
Hold on, I got one more story.
All right. Let's hear it.
I don't have to. I can hold it till next week.
We're going to have something to talk about next week.
Cavell told me, our new published friend, self-published friend, she was telling me that she was in a Shoppers Drug Mart here in Newfoundland, and there was a lady looking at crossword puzzles. And she said, I wish I could do my own crossword puzzle book because the ones that we get in these stores are so boring. And Cavell said, have you heard of Famous Sexy Writer?
Like that's your name, Famous Sexy Writer.
I mean, it's on my shirt. But it's kind of a funny, she was like, yeah, my friend Vicky published this book. And it was kind of like a joke, she calls herself Famous Sexy Writer, like kind of as a joke. And I was like, that's fair. That's exactly what I couldn't have even envisioned a scenario better than that. It's, have you heard of Famous Sexy Writer? Yeah. Like that's a person.
It is.
And it's how to be a famous sexy writer because it's really that easy. And you're sexy as hell. What is it someone said? What did ChatGPT tell me? You're sexy as hell when you're happy or something like that. ChatGPT is my best friend, just so you know. Anyway.
This has been episode 40 of the Are You Mad at Me podcast.
And I'm Vicky Morgan.
And I'm Josh Morgan.
We'll see you next week.